A cop and an ex-con walk into a podcast. This is gonna be good. 2 different lives, same struggles.
Sorry, hang on, let me turn you up. Yeah, it was way down. I was like, why can't I not hear? Thank you so much for this cup. I didn't know that it changed colors.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's raised. How did you find that?
My niece actually does our stuff. So she does all my gear and everything like that. She's out of San Francisco, out of California.
Okay, cool. Well, this is awesome. This looks great. And what did I do with it? I laid it on the table.
Are you drinking the coffee though, or you would
I'm
like
not.
the coffee?
No. I made Folgers this morning. I literally
You guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready for that coffee?
No, I mean I like it. I do like
She
it.
didn't want to go back to her past life, man.
That was hilarious. So, you guys, this is Mark, and he runs Beyond the Struggle podcast. So, y'all go follow his page. And he is amazing and does some really fantastic things. But yesterday, he sent me a package. And I got this shirt, and then he sent me this hat. But if I wear a hat, I kind of look like a cancer patient. So, Willie's getting this. And then I don't want people feeling sorry for me. He sent me this cup. But the funniest thing that he sent me was this. Yeah. So if you're in the chat and you know what this is, does anybody know what that is?
Don't even tell them.
I'm not going to tell
See
them.
if they know.
Yeah.
No, how's
I
your
figured
morning?
that is actually real good coffee, believe it or not.
It is good coffee.
Wait,
It's
when you
good
need
coffee.
a house clean, when you need to get your house cleaned and get stuff done, I would say.
I'm gonna keep it in my police car for whenever I'm working. That way I don't have to go up to the gas station. Like I can just mix it with a bottle of water, you know?
Be careful. You might ask to do overtime.
Prison coffee, yep. Yep, energy in a bag. That's right.
Right, prison coffee.
So is it true that people snort this in prison?
I actually have a weirder one than that. I've actually seen somebody smoke it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure that tastes
I've seen-
terrible.
I've seen I've seen some crazy stuff. You know, I remember so many stories about that kind of stuff. You know, I remember seeing people smoke banana pills, the white off of the banana pills. I don't know what that was about, but I've seen it.
So you can tell all kinds of stories on TikTok, but I will caution you to they'll flag your account if you say certain things.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's very particular about what you can and can't.
I've been flagged. I've been flagged too. You know, I got flagged my first day on TikTok. I got flagged.
Oh.
Yeah, so I posted a video of a little girl ODing or whatever, and
They said no.
she lived. It was a great story ending, but they flagged me. I appealed it and won, but still though.
Well, good. I mean, there's things that I've said on here, and it'll throw like me a caution.
Yep.
And I'm like, sorry, you're on a tripod, and I've got it like stuck between the recliner legs, so when he moves, it jacks with us. He's going to get more coffee. But how's your week been? Things been fantastic.
It has been busy. It's super busy. Like we're now I'm trying to get over here to migrate to TikTok and stuff like that. Has been a little bit of a chore because I don't got full access, you know.
Somebody's asking to see the package.
So I don't have a.
Can you see the chat down below me?
Nah.
Oh, you can't see that? What do you see on yours?
I see just a bunch of the people that are watching. I don't see the actual chat. I don't think I have that. I don't think I have that.
So there's all the people that are watching, I guess on my side, are commenting.
Yeah.
And I can like answer their questions. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I wish you could see it. I'm sure there's a way that you can.
I don't think being 100% with you. I don't think I'm at that. Like it's because I'm so new. I'm not even supposed to be on here. If that makes sense. Like they just like my content, so they gave me a chance to build followers. I've completed. I did. Yeah, I got to I got these like I wish I could show you on my phone. I got these like stupid little things I gotta do to in order to keep TikTok just at this level. My first goal is 500 followers, and then they're gonna release like something I can do, and then at 1,000, that's the goal is 1,000 because then you can do your live, and then I get the promotional the key. You know what that is?
No.
So they give you that. So every platform when you have a large platform,
Sorry.
um,
That.
when you have a large platform, you can you take the key and then you put it in your main platform. It's like a video key, and then you put those numbers that TikTok will give you into your main platform. So for me, I use my studio, Beyond the Struggle Studio, to do YouTube and Facebook and stuff. So I would just use TikTok's key, and then that would cross all the platforms with one camera rather than have to go and like I have right now in my studio. I have two cameras because I can't cross them.
I got you.
Y'all go follow him.
Well, see, I wonder if it's because you're a different, like, since you're a podcast platform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's it. They don't give me. I have nothing over here. Like I have on my in my studio, I have like just the basic stuff. Like I have multi guest. I have the co-host stuff. That's about it. Like I can't even schedule my events. Like I tried to schedule an event and it said not till I reach 500 followers.
Well,
So
these people can help get you there. They are super supportive. Like,
yeah,
that
I know.
is
I watch you. I see them. It's
that I
awesome.
was. Remember, I told you back whenever I first started that God sent me like the people that I needed on this platform to help, and they have been very reassuring and very supportive. And I mean, I can't I can't be more grateful for them.
Yeah, yeah. No, they definitely after we did the testimony too. I was it was nice. It's so nice. Excuse me. It's so nice to see the people. When they're understanding like that, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I was met with a lot of love.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to do. To people don't understand how much it takes. They think they got it in the bag until they get on here and they get behind the camera. And now how the vulnerability is just laid out on the table. It's amazing. You know what I mean?
It was literally one of the scariest things I've ever done.
What's up, Steve-O? Love you.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was like terrifying. Like I even told him, recording it with you was one thing because I knew that it hadn't gone live. And then whenever you sent me the message that it was out on YouTube, I was like, oh man, crap's real now. Like the entire world's going to be able to see all the stuff that I've done and this, that, and the other. And
Hey, Elizabeth.
I told him that I was like, I'm going to share it, but I'm scared. And he was like, you shouldn't be. It's already out there now. And I was like, right.
Yeah.
And this is
I
what
do.
God.
I do it a little different though. A lot of these podcasts, I'm in touch with a lot of these other bigger podcasts, and one of the big things that I do differently is once I post it, for some crazy reason, if it's bringing grief, like I told you in the beginning, you know what I mean, I'll take it down. I got no problem with that because we're not here to do that, cause more problems in your life than you know what I'm saying than we've already created for ourselves. So that's not what I like to do. I want it to be a great experience, an easygoing experience. Um, it's not our story to keep. You know what I mean? That's one of the big things I like pushing because, you don't know that story, your story, some 16-year-old girl wakes up this morning and is in a bad situation and feels like she can't get out of it. And, you just don't know. You just don't know where your story goes. I did my story where, I had my coming to Jesus when I had my heart attack, and I had 32,000 views within 8 hours. You know what I mean? So you just don't know that somebody needed to hear that testimony. These are real life situations that people need to hear. You know what I mean?
Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? There's only 39 people in the chat, but I think they should hear you.
So, one of my big things is my name is Mark. Obviously, I run Beyond the Struggle podcast out of Denver, Colorado. I was an addict, a really horrible one and a good one at the same time, if that even makes sense. I did drugs from the time I was about 14 years old all the way up until I was 20, 21, about 21, 22, somewhere in that range. With 2 prison terms behind me. One time I did 3.5 years in California State Prison. I did 5.5 years in Colorado State Prison. I did a 2-year intensive treatment program in Colorado that would blow your mind, the stories alone in that place. I mean, this place would shave your head if you got into an encounter and got a yelling match with somebody on the floor. They would shave your head, and that was usually your warning that you were going to go back to jail. This place would put you. They would shave all your facial hair. That wouldn't. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it, man. So it was hard. All that stuff was hard. But I grew up with my mom being an alcoholic. She was a full-blown alcoholic, and I don't mean like your normal alcoholic, get up, go to work kind of alcoholic. I mean, my mom would wake up, eat a salad because she knew she wasn't going to eat for the day, and go through 2 cases of beer for the day. She couldn't drink whiskey. She got kind of violent when she drank whiskey. My brother, at this point in my life, around that age, around 10, my life started jacked up when I was about 5 or 6 years old. We lived on the street. We lived out of the back of my mom's car. And I went to school from my mom's car. And in my testimony, I say a good day for me when I was a kid, and not like poor me type of situation, but a good day that I remember is my brother having a bottle of water so we can brush our teeth and comb my hair. If I was able to make it to school from that day. And these are days I really, really do remember. My mom would park at the bar, so that way she wouldn't have to stumble and drive from the bar. So she would go to the car, and then my brother would get up. My brother was about 11 years older, 11, 12 years older than me. And we'd get up from the back of the car, and he'd take me to school from where we were at. So we always made sure we were pretty close. Remember staying in hotels. We got these things called hotel vouchers when we were on welfare. And we would stay in hotels and live out of hotels when I was a kid. So we never stayed nowhere. I never stayed in a school more than 6 months. And then growing up, my brother got HIV. He got AIDS when I was a kid. He got jumped and got a bad blood transfusion. This is back in the 80s when it was really frowned upon, when they thought only homosexuals got AIDS. So it was real hard growing up to even be able to talk about stuff like that. Because it was just so frowned upon, So it was scary because, bullying wasn't a thing like it is now, that just back then they just did it. You know what I mean? So, growing up with my brother having AIDS, my mom being an alcoholic, my dad not in my life, we never had a place to live until I remember my sister-in-law got with my brother and they had a baby. And then we started having some normalities, and I would say like a house. We got a house in Burbank. Long story. Ended up finally getting a place together in in Wilmington, California, and it was like a sixplex. It was my brother and his wife and my niece, and then two houses down was my mom, my stepdad, and me, and then around the corner in the other one was my grandma. And that was about the most normality we had. But every weekend was a fight. Every weekend was a duking out, hitting each other with frying pans, pulling knives on everybody. That was the lifestyle I remember. All this time though, my brother's dying. So my family is losing their, for better lack of words, losing their shit. My mom tried to kill herself during this time. Few weeks later, my sister tried to kill herself after that because she couldn't deal with her husband dying. I call her my sister, but she's my sister-in-law. And after that, I mean, I don't remember. Me and her get to talking. She lives with me now, and we get to talking about stories like that. And I don't remember too many birthdays. Very rarely Christmas. I remember Thanksgiving was a really big thing for some reason, but growing up like that. And then after my brother passed, it got worse. I started getting in a little bit of trouble in the neighborhood I lived in. I'm half Mexican, half white. I decided not to like the white side of me for some reason, and hanging out with the gang members and started wanting to do a bunch of stupid stuff. So my mom thought moving me to the mountains would get my life together, but it didn't. So I ran into some people that were using drugs and started using. I learned how to sell drugs really quick, enough to where I felt confident that running away from home I can do and pay for my own bills. I made a lot of money as a 14, 15-year-old kid. Back in the early 90s, $100 was probably like $500 nowadays. So I ran away and it was all off to the races from there. I selling drugs in and out of jail, in and out of juvenile hall. And once I got in trouble, they would just bring me back to my mom and I would just rerun away again. So I did that until I got a prison term in 96, 97. I caught my first prison term. Got out and my mom was dying. So I thought it'd be smart to get my life together and I based my recovery on her. I thought that, no matter what me and her been through, that I owed her to be clean and sober, I guess you would say. I owed it to her and signed up for college, got me a job, started doing the right thing, living with her. And then she started getting sick. And one day she was like, I gotta go to the hospital. I don't feel good. And she died 3 days later. When she died, I obviously I took it pretty hard, because now I'm an adult with, thinking differently than I was when I was a kid and all the regret and anger I had towards her. So when she died, I stayed doing good for a while, but I didn't really have nothing to really live for anymore. So I literally thought it like that. And I just went back off to the races again. Came to Colorado to get my life together. That lasted about a whole 6 months. And I found out that drugs are everywhere because I'm there. That's a key thing that people don't understand in recovery is no matter where you go, you're there. You are the problem. The drugs aren't the problem. So I got here and I was 10 times worse here. Colorado was about 3,000 light years behind California. So everything I did, it was in, whoa, they made it sound like it was so astronomically huge here. And I liked it. I liked it too much. So I sold a bunch of drugs here, got in trouble, got in a high-speed chase, 153-mile-an-hour high-speed chase with the Colorado State Troopers, 22 miles long on I-70, and got a 13-year sentence with 5 years parole for that. Got out in 2005, did 2 years in the rehabilitation program, and been good ever since.
Did they
20
pitch you?
years. Huh?
Did they pitch it?
They for the for the you talking about for the high speed chase?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
they
pitch
actually hit me with the spike strip. Is how they got me.
you?
I'll tell that story. Is that the one that you were
So-
telling?
Yeah, so funny story about that one is the shorter version is I get pulled over. I pass this guy, he's getting pulled over. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, better him than me. I got this girl I'm taking back. She lives about maybe a mile to the next little tiny town, Lyman. And I'm taking her back home before I head back to Denver. This cop pulls behind me. And do you remember those old CD cases where you put the tape into the deck and then you have your CD player?
Yeah.
That's how we played CD players when they first came out. Like we put the old cassette into the thing and it had a cord to your CD player. So this car, that's what I had. And I was putting in a CD. So I'm steering with my knees and had my CD player in my hand. And so I did a little swerving. He pulls behind me, pulls me over. I already knew he pulled me over for the swerving, I assume. And I can't go back to jail. I messed up. And when I went into this house, I took a gun into the house with me. Normally I would put the gun back into the trunk so I could fight the case if I did get pulled over. But this particular time, since I was only driving a mile down the road, I just got back in the car and I didn't want to stash the gun in the car because I already knew the law. Possession was within my reach. So, there's nothing I could do. So I pulled over. When I pulled over, I brought the car to neutral, came to a rolling stop, let him get to the window, told the girl to get out of the car. And I'm not gonna lie, and this is the ugly truth. At that point in my life, I was living a different lifestyle. I didn't care about nobody. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I felt I had nothing to live for, not like take my life, but if you took it, I didn't really care type of thing. I was gonna take that cop's life that day. And that's a true story. That's being as real with you as I could ever be. I had it underneath my leg. and I told her to get out of the car. Had she not been in the car, I probably wouldn't be sitting here with you guys today. That's being honest, because that's where I was in my life. I really didn't care. I took the gun, I put it to the door. I was going to shoot through the door. Don't ask me why. I couldn't tell you why. The frame of mind that I could tell you what I feel today, that I know for sure that I felt back then, was I didn't really have a whole bunch to live for, and I didn't care about life. And I know that's not an excuse. I'm a different man today, but anyways, she wouldn't get out the car. So obviously, that all ran through my head. Being a professional criminal that I was, I didn't think that it was probably too smart of an idea to shoot a cop and drive away with her in the car. So I put the gun underneath my lap, let him come to the window. When he came to the window, he tapped on the window. I had tinted windows. And as soon as he tapped on the window, I slapped it into drive, and I'm gone. And I had him beat. I'm not even joking. I had him beat. He had just a regular patrol car for the little town he was in, and I smoked it. I had an Infinity Q, which was top of the line Infinities at this point in time, which was around 2001. I think it was 2001. I had a brand new Infinity Q. This thing was insane. Speedometer topped out 185, I think it said. And so I thought, for some crazy reason, that if you take a local sheriff or cop through state line, that they can't follow you to the state line. I don't know where I heard this from, but I knew where I was at. I knew where I was at. I heard that that so I made a right, and I think it's Kansas is right there or something like that. So I knew I'm not very far from there. I'm pretty close. I can get through the state line. And well, when I made my right, I spun out because I was going so damn fast. I tried to slow down, but without losing it, and I lost it. And when I spun out, I'm facing the opposite way. So I just jumped on the freeway the way I was facing. And again, I'm not making this up. I had this cop, I smoked him. Like, I was gone. I was probably at least, without exaggerating, I was probably at least a mile, if not better, 2 miles, maybe even past him. I was gone. If the exit came, the problem out here, and then in small towns, that the exits are far and few, right? They're not like every city. These exits in this small town are far and few. So I'm jamming on this freeway, and when I turn around, I'm looked down at the speedometer. I hand the girl. It's hard to roll down the window at 100 and some miles an hour. So I hand her the gun and tell her throw the gun out the window, because I already know they're gonna get me. I don't want to get busted with this gun. So she throws then the cop's way, but I mean he's like tiny in my mirror, and so she throws the gun out. Boom. So now I feel really confident, because now I don't got a gun. I can go to jail for the high speed chase, and I could beat everything else that's in this car. I got some things in the car to make meth, stuff like that. Like everything's in the trunk. You know what I mean? The car's stolen. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna beat this case. Like, only thing I'm gonna get me for is the eluding. I already planned this out. Like, so while I'm taking off, I look down on my speedometer, and I'm doing about 140 some miles an hour, I think. And so when I'm down doing 140 some miles an hour, I look over to my right. I don't see, there's no cops behind me, like literally way back there. I look to my right, and there's like this Lamborghini Ferrari highway trooper right next to me. And I don't even know what the hell I was thinking. I looked at the speedometer. I was doing about 140, and this Lamborghini pulls up. He's like right next to me. And so I look, and he looks at me, and he does, and just gone. I was like, like, I knew. I told her, I said, we're in trouble now. We're in trouble, because must have been no police from where I was at to the upcoming to stop anything. And I was that little cop car in the light of him, because I seen his taillights, and he was just gone. There was no way. He had to be doing at least 170, I would imagine, probably something like that, to go past me like that. And I'm weaving in and out of cars. It's a 2-lane highway, major highway, I-70. And they put a big rig in one of the lanes on the right side. They put a big rig there, and they literally put big rigs there, and then they put their cop cars along the medium, inside the center of the medium.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no choice, but it was either hit them or hit the tax strip. Um, and I wasn't a suicide person, so I hit the tax strip. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not gonna put the car into them. That wasn't where I was at in my life. I wanted to live. I just didn't care about it, you know? So I hit the tax strip at about 150 some miles an hour, I think I was doing. Tires blew off. I probably went another 10 miles with no tires until the floor started melting on the car. Slid off the side of the road, slowed down far enough for me to jump out, and I ran into the field, and they caught me in the field, and they okey doked me. They okey doked me in the field. They did some old school stuff on me in the field. Yeah, they did.
Hey, you let them cops catch you, man. You know they fatting out of shape.
Bro, these state troopers were like on steroids. I'm not even joking. These were big boys, man. They caught me in this field, and it's funny. So I jumped this fence, this cattle fence, and I'll run, right? I got him. I'm gone, but it's all open field. I'm like, they're gonna catch me eventually. I don't want to get shot. I don't know the rules at this point. I'm thinking that they could shoot me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I jumped the fence. I lay down. I don't know what I was thinking. I threw dirt on my back so they wouldn't see me. And I'm laying there, and I hear him. The cars going through the fields. I hear him, and then I hear the shotgun. Don't move. But it didn't sound like it was on my back. But they were trying to get me to pop up. You know what I mean? So now I know that, but I didn't know that then. So I just laid there, and finally I felt the barrel of the gun on the back of my head, right in my neck. And he's like, "Don't move." And then they hogtied me. I touched every piece of barbed wire and every piece of those little stupid pokey plants that are in the desert. They stomach touched me on everything all the way to the cop car. I told your wife, "Oh, I'm gonna get on here one time and read my report to you guys, because it's funny because the cop couldn't understand why we're driving back to the place, to the jail, and I'm laughing, and he's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "I had you guys, that's why." And he's like, "No, you didn't." I'm like, and we're joking the whole time, and he's like, "Well, I don't understand how you find this funny." I'm like, "I knew I was going to jail. Like, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Be here, be sad?" Like, I knew what I was doing. So I laughed about it the whole time. It was kind of it's a funny story, but it's not, you know what I mean? I could have killed somebody, and it's definitely sucked.
Yeah, since nobody else got hurt or anything. So
Yeah, yeah. And and then the girl that was in the car, I didn't have it. I wasn't thinking about her the whole time. They released her, luckily, because I told her, like, "Hey, tell him whatever you got to tell him." You know what I mean? You didn't have nothing to do with this. And I even told the
jump out, right?
Yeah. I told the cops, though, the detective, I was like, "She didn't have nothing to do with that. I was just giving her a ride." Um, I said, they asked if I forced her, and I was like, "No," because I knew that was a kidnapping charge. So I told her, I was like, "Whatever you do, just tell him I was giving you a ride home." You know what I mean? And we got caught in the middle of something, but definitely don't tell him I made you get in the car, because
Yeah. That's funny.
Hang on, I'm coming back.
so those are the exciting stories of my life. No.
Those are
I'm
good.
doing good now, though. 20 years of sobriety, you know what I mean? And my brother and I own our own business. We own a tree service in Colorado, Lim Walker's Tree Service. So it's
Yeah.
it's been good. We got like 9 employees. Started from the bottom with nothing, and doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I
good.
think that it's super awesome. And what I like about all of this is I am the police and you are an ex-con, and that's what we talk about.
Yes, we do. We do. And it's crazy because, like, when I post on my platforms, I always get messages like, "Man, how cool is that?" And I'm like, and it's funny because you sit here and you hear these stories back and forth. And oh, you know what? I did get somebody ask me a question the other day that I didn't get to ask you. Somebody said something. So is it true that do you guys have quotas?
No, we get that a
I don't
lot.
know. I had to ask. I mean,
Well, this is the thing is in Arkansas, I actually did make a video on this. There's actual state law that says that they can't impose a quota on you. Now they can impose what they consider contacts. Like state police has contacts to where you have to make X amount of contacts an hour or a shift. Is it a shift or an hour? I don't know.
Usually, yeah.
So that can be anything from an agency assist to checking out an abandoned vehicle, traffic stop, going on an actual call. You know what I mean? There's a ton of things that they can do that's contacts, but quotas are against the law. So they can't like give you promotions or raises or anything based off your performance. So if I went my entire law enforcement career and never wrote a ticket, they can't penalize me for it,
Mm,
technically. I mean, granted, you wouldn't make a very good cop if you did that, but it just is what
right.
it is. But the thing being now, the only time they can do what I would consider a quota would be as if they're on federal grant overtime. So if they're on federal grant overtime, the federal government says, if we're going to give you this grant money, this is what you have to do in order to maintain it. So they will say, you've got to make,
Four seatbelts in an hour.
yeah, you've got to write 4 seatbelt tickets in an hour. So they are telling you that is your quota. If you want to keep this grant money, you've got to have it. But it's not the local department policy that you have it's the federal government.
Right.
So,
right. So,
Okay.
so you don't get bonuses then, huh?
no, no.
That's boring.
We don't get
Yeah.
we don't get toasters. We don't get none of that. We don't get anything cool.
So,
We don't get
another thing I I heard excuse me, I heard a rumor and it actually came from this state trooper. There was like a bunch of them at this barbecue I was at one time. Very awkward, by the way. Um, and they were standing there talking about, and I don't know if they were blowing smoke up my butt, but they got this thing called roulette. Have you ever heard of this? So it's pretty much a gamble of being able, they get 2 a day. I don't know if it's something amongst state troopers, but they were saying that they get about 2 a day before they could get in trouble for it. It's called roulette. And what they do is it's what you probably would call a hunch to pull somebody over, right? But don't really have an excuse. Does that make sense? So you find an excuse and then you pull them over, but you get 2 a day if you're wrong. Outside of that, you would start being looked at like investigated or something by your office or whatever the case may be.
I would say that would be a pre-contextual stop or whatever. We have a tissue. So like what it is if there's certain things, I personally don't do it because, most lawyers are going to tear you up in court. And whenever I make a stop on somebody or I make an arrest on somebody, my stuff is pretty much watertight. Like if I got you, it's because you were doing exactly what I said you were doing. And you're not going to be able to argue it at all. And, I've told you some of the situations that I've been in. You were doing exactly what I said you were doing. There's no reason for me to lie or have to make anything up. But there's a thing called pretextual stops. And this is what normally happens, like if they're working drug interdiction. So they have a specific, have you ever heard of a felony forest?
Okay.
Okay. So that's whenever all the little trees are hanging
Right.
from a vehicle. Now, this is all snoop spinach being legal. Like
Right.
We had a thing called felony forest. So like if you saw a vehicle that had like 50 just little trees hanging, chances are there was a good chance that there was going to be some snoop spinach being smoked in that vehicle. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I would say. You can profile a vehicle, but you cannot profile a person.
Right. Right.
So that's what I would say that it is. It would be like more of a pretextual stop.
What about what's one of your scariest situations that you've encountered during an arrest?
During an arrest, I haven't ever, truthfully, by the grace of God and God alone, I've not had any scary arrests that I've ever made. I have had those stops where your intuition just kind of takes over, that gut check. And I was backing an officer up on a traffic stop once, and he had called and said, "Hey, I'm fixing to search a vehicle." And I went to back him up. He didn't pat the guy down before he pulled him out of the vehicle. Like once he pulled him out of the vehicle, he got consent to search, but he never patted the guy down. And he didn't wait on me to get there to search. So by the time I got there, the dude was just standing at the front of his patrol car, but you could tell he was like vibrating real high. Like I'm talking, his fists were clenched. Like, I mean, he was posturing like he was ready to fight. He had that look on his face. And I mean, you could just tell something was afoot. And the guy that I was backing up, he was an older guy. He was an older police officer. And like whenever I got out of my car and just walked up beside, his patrol car. The dude looked at me, looked back at him, looked at me, and we were on the side of a big highway, like, I mean, just huge ditch on the other side. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, did you pat him down?" And he said, "No." But the guy moved his hand from his side directly to his waistband and just laid it on his stomach. And I was like, okay. So I knew that he hadn't patted him down. But the officer was in the car. I'm talking like butt deep, searching the passenger seat, just looking everywhere. He was just like, "I can smell it. I know there's marijuana in this car. I can smell it." And I'm like, I said, "We need to go." And he was just like, he said, "What are you talking about? I'm not done searching." And I said, "This man," I said, "let's just let him go." I said, "If you've looked and you haven't found it, let him go." And he said, "But I know it's here." And I said, "Let him go."
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Whatever, fine." I mean, I actually had a little bit of seniority on him, so I pulled the seniority card and I was like, "It's time to go." So we got back to the police department. He was fit to be tied. And he was just like, "Why'd you pull me off that traffic stop?" This, that, and the other. And I said, "He was going to shoot us." I said, he was like, "How do you know that?" And I said, "I don't know that. I don't know that for sure." I said, "But he was sizing you up. He was sizing me up. He was looking for his out." I said,
Mhm.
"You didn't pat him down. He was holding his waist." Like,
Yeah.
everything was set up for failure. It's either let him go. He will get got eventually. Okay. It might not be by us, but he will get got eventually.
Yeah.
Count your losses. We both went home today. That's what's important.
That's
We,
that's a very smart move on your behalf,
yeah,
because it's
it was
you just
not,
don't know. Like, that's what I just told that story. Like, you don't know.
you don't know.
This poor officer thought he was just pulling me over for swerving, and could have been the
Mhm.
last day.
Yeah.
It's
And it's a lot of, we call it tombstone courage, in law enforcement, like where they have just yes, it is 8158. This was the last one. It's tombstone courage where you just have to get him. You just have to get the bad guy, come what may. And that's no way to police at all. And I've always said that, like, policing is my job. It's not my life. My husband is my life. My kids are my life. God is my life. This job, they could fire me at any point in time for any reason, because Arkansas is an at-will state. They don't have to give me a reason. They could just say, "Hey, Kristen, we don't want you here anymore," and terminate me. If policing was my life, then what was it for? What did I do all this stuff for? Like, what did I pour myself into it for? Policing is my job. It is not my life.
right. But there is police officers out there that think otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yes,
They go to
there is.
that next level, and that's the ones that suck, because those are the ones that put your guys' lives even further in jeopardy, because they're not. The criminals aren't thinking like that. They think everybody's the same. When you hear all these people F the police and stuff like that, it's because, a handful of cops have either let them down or they represent the wrong thing. That's the truth behind it,
Yeah.
they
And that's what we had talked about last time for the people in the
right.
chat, is that one of my biggest pet peeves is officers who look at people, felons, like it's a disease. I hate that. Like, "Oh, you're a felony. That's contagious. You can't sit with us." I have met some wonderful felons, i.e., you know what I'm saying, Mark? Like, truthfully, I've met some wonderful felons. I have met some absolutely horrible police officers.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
T,
it's in the same world as me. I've met some horrible criminals, and I've met some
yeah,
absolutely upright, standing, drop down dead, cool criminals. But it's just it sucks, because it's the bad rap. It's the bad rap name for you guys, and I feel sorry. I feel bad now that I'm grown and mature. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for you guys. I really do, because it's a hard enough job, and everybody's always F the police until you need them, right?
yeah, yeah,
You know.
100%. And like I said, I've said this a bunch of times on here. Like, I don't even really read my comments anymore, because I don't get my feelings hurt, but I feel like an overwhelming need to defend myself. But at the end of the day, real calls to real and like calls to like, you know, and that is one thing that I have found is God has sent me good people. And there's a ton of people out there that don't know me. And those are the ones who are speaking on me. They are speaking from a place of their perception, and I can't do anything to change that. So I'm not going to argue it
Right.
until they meet me face to face and they actually have a conversation with me. They will never know who I am. And that's okay. I'm going to continue to go be a good person. I'm going to continue to be a good cop and, treat people with love and grace just the way that I want to be treated because God knows that I received grace that I did not deserve.
Yep. I think that's when I knew I was going to be friends with you, is when I felt like I had to defend you, because I was, I'm like that with my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I once we did our stuff, there's always going to be somebody that has something slick to say, and it's like I don't like that, man. Especially when you're doing, like, when we did your interview, when you're being vulnerable, if you ain't got nothing nice to say on those, you should just be quiet,
Yep.
because it's hard, and until you're in that person's shoes, and that was such a beautiful testimony, dude. Because, like, I just was talking to my sister the other day. I did an interview with somebody, and and I knew they were holding back. I always know when they're holding back. Now I got about 40 of these in, um, and I've been doing this a long time, and I can always tell when somebody's tucking something or they haven't dealt with something. And I know you scraped even surfaces that you haven't touched on when you were doing that. That's why I made it so awesome, because I know somewhere along the line you added stuff in there that you were holding on to, and I felt it. So that's what made it more, the vulnerability even more. So for somebody to get on there and have their own stupid opinion, you know, uh-uh. It would suck to do that on my podcast, because I might report you that you know what I mean, into child porn or something. I don't know. I'm petty like that.
I don't, I don't think you're petty, but well, I don't know.
Man,
I mean,
I don't
I'm
like
not
it.
being
I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies. I have a problem with bullies. I don't know what it is. I wasn't really bullied as a kid. I grew up, I've always had to defend myself because I was white and Mexican, because I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood. Um, but I was never really bullied. I didn't take no bully. My brother never taught me to be pushed around. My mom was real tough. My mom was like a father most days, and my brother was definitely like a father. So I never got, nobody taught me to fight all the time, me, but no, I never, one of the big things that my mom and my brother did teach me is to stand up for your family and people you believe in. So, um, that's always carried with me. So getting older, now that I'm getting older, almost 50, I'm like, I don't like bullies. I don't like nobody to be pushing on nobody because you think you can. That's not cool.
and that's how I am too. And I was never bullied, like not hardcore. Don't get me wrong. I was a chubby little kid. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll have to show you some baby pictures one day. Like
I'm sure all of us would like to see that.
I was cornbread fed with a bad haircut, but um, I wasn't made fun of. Like I was, decently. What I would consider popular in high school. Um, Granted, I don't know how you can be super popular when there's only like 32 people in your graduating class, but it's neither here nor there.
Top of the class, right off the top.
Yeah. But nonetheless, like I wasn't bullied, but I'm telling you right now, like I will step out of my everyday character of being a loving and just compassionate person if I see you bully somebody. Like I am relentless to the point that I will not stop till you cry. Like and I can be mean. Like people see me and they're just like, "You're so sweet. You're so sweet." I am until I'm pushed not to be. And then whenever I'm there, we're there. Let's just send it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just is what it is, but I can't stand a bully
Yeah,
at
me
all.
neither. Me neither. It's something special on there, for real. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fight you. Like a grown man, I'll fight you.
Yeah, I don't. It was crazy because I can't remember where we were at. I think we were in Vegas recently. It might have been in Vegas. I think it was. I'm gonna say Vegas. I mean, my wife and I and my brother, we were in Vegas, and I was driving down the street, and this guy looked like he was slunched over. Oh, no, no, no! It was in at this rally, this drug rally that we went to, this recovery rally we went to, and we were packing up from the rally and driving downtown Denver, and this guy looked like he was slunched over. Looked like he was praying. He had all his little items out underneath him. You could tell he was homeless. And I'm at the light, and there's this guy just acting like a straight weirdo, walked up on him and doing weird stuff, and like, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nah, like, I don't know, man. It just don't. You can't do that. Like, this guy looks like he's either talking to himself or praying, one of the two. But I always think that they're praying when they're when they're doing stuff like that. So I told my wife, she's like, "Babe, just leave it alone. It's not worth going to jail." I'm like, "But is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on,
That's
man.
how we
You
are
know?
too. We're like, is it?
Yeah.
That-
I always say I got a different perspective of life now. Like, I don't want to go to jail, but you know what I mean? Like, now I got bail money now, so you know.
You, it's so funny. Like we've said that so many times. So obviously, you know that we train a lot. Like we've got to go to training here in about an hour. But we had gone to some fights. This is just a funny story. We'd gone to some fights, And Willie's very well known in like the MMA world, the fighting world, whatever. And he was just what were you refereeing? Did you referee those fights? No, he was cornering. He'd cornered a fight, and we were just staying to watch the rest of the fight. Well, we had gone and sat down. We were in Mississippi. We had sat down at our table, and there were some people standing in front of us, which we didn't mind that. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching your family, that's fine. But Willie had asked several people, just squat down so we can watch the fight too. I mean, obviously, you pay good money to get a table. Like, we want to be able to watch the fight too. We don't mind you staying and watching your family, but we want to see the fight. Well, there was a guy who had a whole bunch of liquid courage. He was pretty drunk. Him and his mama had got up there to go watch. I believe it was his brother fight. And he was standing up. They were yelling, hollering, screaming. So Willie went up there and he just kind of tapped them on the shoulder. He was like, "Hey, do you care to just squat down?" And so she was like, "Oh, yeah, sorry." So she squatted down and the guy turned around and I don't know, did he try to elbow you or swing at you? Whenever he touched him, when Willie touched him on the shoulder, because he was just hollering, he like swung around and like tried to hit him. And before I know it, there was like, they were backing this dude that swung at him up towards me, towards the table. And as soon as I saw it, I was up. Like, I'm real protective of this one. Okay. And there was so many people like in between, like immediately, like they flooded in between Willie and him. And this one, I'll never forget him. He was a big black guy. He was pushing Willie on the chest. He was like, "Man, he doesn't know who you are. Man, he doesn't know who you are." And I remember him saying that. Well, it was just by the good grace of God that they backed that man straight up to me, the one who tried to swing on him. I was out of my seat and had jumped on his back and was choking yes, choking the life out of him. One of the dudes that we had gone with like pulled me off of his back. And then he was just like looking around like, what happened? He had dropped his phone. I picked it up and I didn't even think. Like, I hurled it across the arena. Like, that dude's phone. I was just like, "Get out of here." Well, security took him outside. You know, Willie was fine. And this dude came back in and he walked up to Willie and he was just like, "Man, we can finish that outside if you want." Willie got up and I said, No. We're in Mississippi. We didn't bring enough money to get you out of jail here. Sit down. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be fine. But like, we still tell that story. People came up to me and they're like, "You were choking that guy." And I was like, "I know. I would do it again."
I
No,
had those state troopers. He was part of like this my ex-wife's family, and one of the state troopers was telling me a story about him getting in a fight in upstate New York, and he was like, so he's a state trooper, so he's always, I don't know, the whole party he was like walking around with his chest out. He was one of those ones, you know what I mean, like almost like just too much gung ho, big guy though. And he was telling me he got in a fight over there, and he tried to pull the card that he was a state trooper. He's like, "Man," he's like, "I tried to pull the card and told him I was a state trooper," and they're like, "Good, you knew better then." All right, that backfired quick.
100%. And it will. That's like, I mean, there is a certain level of like job courtesy that we, like we try to extend to one another, law enforcement families, this, that, and the other. But if I ever get pulled over, I speed all the time. If I ever get pulled over, I'm not telling nobody that I'm the police. If I get a ticket, I earn that ticket because I speed. I know that I speed. I'm going to get got eventually. It will happen. And I mean, I've been very fortunate that I've just evaded the law thus far, but my day's coming,
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
I got pulled over the other day. I'm one of those horrible people that take 900 years to register your vehicle. Have the money, just don't do it. Not gonna lie.
Big it, sucker. You getting it?
Yeah, I'm one of those horrible people that do that. And it's funny because you want to let me before I tell this story, let me tell you the leading story to this. We have a lady that called the office and left a review even and says, "Who the hell doesn't register their company trucks? Just horrible, avoiding taxes." And I was like, man, it was so funny. And then a week later, I got pulled over. Yeah, I got pulled over. It was pouring down rain, right? This is not I'm like literally like 2 months ago. It was pouring down rain here. And I'm like, I seen the cop. I pulled out onto the street. I'm not going to tell you how far behind I was. I will just say far enough to I should have registered it a long time ago. And it was more than 3 months. Let's just say that. So, I pull out onto the street and the cops in my left side, and I know the old counter surveillance move. I'm like, I know he's already on me. He's in the next lane in front of me, but I already know he's already on me. So he slows down. I said, as soon as he slows down, I'm done. He slows down. He jumps behind me, but it's pouring down rain. I'm like, I'm thinking, is he gonna let it go because the tags? And who wants to stand out in the rain and write you know what I mean, like a ticket for this? Yeah, that's what went through my head. So he hit the lights on me. I pulled into a Walmart parking lot, walked up to the door, and I was as honest could be. He goes, I'm sure you know why I pulled you over. I said, absolutely. I actually thought you were going to let me go because it was raining. And he said, no. He says, but I'm definitely going to give you a ticket because it's raining. I thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
That is funny.
I didn't think of it like that. He's like, if you got to stand in the rain, I'm writing you a ticket for sure.
A lot of them are like that. Like,
Yeah.
I would not consider myself a fair weather cop. There are some that are like, if it's raining, I'm not doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Getting out the car, yeah.
No. Now I'm not gonna say that I just go like patrol heavy while it's raining, but if I see something, I'm not gonna not pull you over. Like I would say one of the biggest rocks of felony glitter that I've ever gotten. It was pouring down rain. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you guys see less activity, like criminal activity when it's cold, or do you guys get cold in Arkansas? Does it get
Oh,
cold?
it gets really cold. Actually, it was like 27, like unseasonably cold here the other day. It was like 27, but not
Do
like
you guys see criminal activity less when it's cold?
no. It actually probably goes up because they think that we're not going to do anything.
Dang it! So that never worked, huh? I always thought that. I always thought it was like it's cold. They're not going to be chasing us.
Well, some of them won't.
Hmm.
Like it just depends, like it depends on what kind of cop you are, truthfully. Like how hard you wanna go out and beat the streets, I would say. I will Now one thing I have noticed here of late is there's more people walking, which is ironic to me. I don't know why. It's cold.
Hmm.
So that's just one thing that I've noticed. I don't know why. It's strange.
Do you stop people that are walking? Just like ask them where they're going, what they're doing?
It depends on what time of the day it is.
Okay.
Like, I mean, at nighttime, yeah, it's after about 11:30. Everything in our town shuts down at 10. So, I'll give you till about 11:30. But if you're out walking at 11:30, I'm curious as to what you're doing, why you're going there.
See, well, that's your first mistake is people that are selling drugs and doing drugs and stuff are walking around during the day. At least the smart
are.
ones were.
Well, I don't know that we got a whole bunch of smart ones here, Mark.
Problem is, she don't work during the day, or
I really don't.
Oh, yeah?
Like I work at like 1. I work at 1 in the afternoon and work till 11. But I mean, they're all in vehicles during the day. Like I would say that they're not super smart. If I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. It's hard because it's like, for criminals, what they, how they think is, they think they're thinking something new, and it's, they don't realize that the people have been doing this for 20 plus years. You know what I mean?
I will tell you why. I don't think they care anymore. And it's because that the law has gotten so relaxed that they can catch a felony charge. They're going to get like a $250 fine, or not 250, like $2,500 fine, so they can bond for $250. They're going to be right back out the same day, and then they're going to get felony probation. So they don't care. They're already felons.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they don't care.
It's a ugly cycle, man. And we were talking about that the other day, and I'm gonna post that up here this afternoon. That one that we did last week with my buddy from prison. That's the problem, is there's not enough help to help some of these people. I always felt like that. I never even remember rehabs or none of that when I was doing what I was doing. I never was offered these programs that they offer nowadays, stuff like that. Like, it's so horrible.
Just in our town alone, and we are in a city of less than 2,000. I think there's three big ones that house both male and female. Just here.
See,
And what they get now is like if they go to court and say, I'll do drug court and I'll go to rehab in lieu of going to jail, they're out. And then once they get out to the rehab, they just walk off because they can't physically make them stay.
yeah, see, and that should be a condition. The judge, that's the judge's fault, because the judge is writing that order wrong. And if the judge was to write that as an order where you have to complete this, or you have a deferred sentence, that would change a lot of those perspectives. So what they do here is they put a big number. So let's say your case carries 10 years maximum. And so what they'll do here is they'll take you to court. You go to court. You say you want to go. And I've never got this option, but I've seen it with lots of people that I know. They go to jail. And then what they do is they offer them like a rehabilitation center. But they put the stipulation on there, must complete drug rehab or whatever it may be called, with the 10-year deferred sentence. So what happens there is when you get to the rehab and you decide I don't want to do this no more and you walk off, guess what you have? You have an automatic 10-year sentence.
They don't do that here.
It would be smart for them to do that. That's how they should do that. You know what I mean? Because then that makes them at least complete the thing.
But this is the stigma, is I guess everybody just automatically assumes that the police is the law. So whenever we arrest these people and then they go to jail and then they see them back out on the street the very next day, they blame the cops because it's like the cops are not doing their job. They ain't got nothing to do with the cops at all. You know, it's the court. So why are you not harassing the judges?
Yeah. And that's what I was telling you about last time when we were talking. That if you had enough people to make a move, to make a stand, they could. It really can happen. That's the problem, is people don't think their voice matters. One person stirring stuff up isn't gonna do nothing. But you just get petitions. You can get all kinds of stuff for them to put it on the ballot. All you got to do is chat GBT and write up a good ballot and let the town vote on it. Hey, stricter laws for this or stricter laws for that, and watch. And even with like in Colorado, they do a lot of things now. They got that new law with the fentanyl. At so many grams of fentanyl, it's you're in trouble. 5-10 years automatic.
Shoot, I think here any amount. Right?
Mm.
I I don't know. I mean, I know it's like a big thing here.
We get
And
a lot of overdoses.
that come to the city beside us, not the one I work in, but where he works at the hospital. There's a lot that come in there, and they have. Now, I will say this: in Arkansas, I don't know if they're doing this everywhere, but if you are a dealer and you deal fentanyl, and there's a death that is related to it, they charge you with homicide.
As they should.
Mm-hmm.
As they should. I agree with that. As they should. Hey, have you ever heard of these things called one box?
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna send you one. I'm partnering up with this company. They distribute these boxes called One Box. And once I partner up with them, they're gonna send me some material.
It's time to get up.
I guess um so they're gonna send me some stuff, these one boxes anyways, real quick. They actually carry the Narcan in them and a video how to administer it and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna try to get them into the schools. And uh a small town like yourself sounds like it would be an awesome thing to have in your guys' patrol cars.
Yeah.
um they come with a little video. You open it up, it has the stuff that you need, gloves. Obviously you probably have gloves already, but it has everything in there. I'm gonna send you one, and then you guys tell me what I mean. Maybe we'll get them in your guys' patrol cars.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I thank you so much for jumping on here this morning with me.
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate this. Hopefully I could get the followers on here to get. We're trying to really migrate over here for real. I
Yeah,
think it's
send
gonna
them.
be.
Send them, y'all. Y'all go lock it up.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate it, and we will be moving over to TikTok hopefully soon. I just got to get the followers up so I can start doing live feeds like this all the time. It's just unless I'm invited, I can't get on here more than like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So
Well,
Take
maybe
care, Mark.
we'll do it again.
appreciate you guys. You guys enjoy your routine, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.